So today we're going to be talking about the top 10 greatest New York Giants players of all time. Starting off in number 10, we're going to go with Sam Huff, linebacker for the Giants in the 1950s, two-time first-team All-Pro selection, uh, quarterback of the defense that was so dominant in 1956, leader of that middle line for the defense. Really not much bad to say about him. At number 9, we're going to go with Andy Robustelli, very versatile player, could play any of the linebacker positions as well as defensive end. However, most of his career he played right defensive end. Six-time first-team All-Pro in his career, four times with the Giants. Critical in helping the Giants win the NFL championship in 1956. Would be a little bit higher had he played his entire career with the Giants, but certainly made his name remembered in Giants history. However, number 8, we're going to talk about a guy who's known more as a Giants here. Very controversial ranking would be Eli Manning. Some people might think this is too low. People might think this is too high. There's the argument to be made he's not even the best Giants quarterback of all time. That would be Phil Simms. The reason why I have Eli Manning here is while I don't think that he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, unlike Robustelli and Huff, I think he contributed more to the Giants' winning ways, even more than Phil Simms. Say what you want about Phil Simms. Yeah, he was probably a better quarterback in his prime, but he also did miss two of the Giants' 5 playoff campaigns that he had with them while he was on that team, including one Super Bowl winning campaign in 1990. Eli Manning was the starting quarterback of both the Giants' Super Bowl winning teams during his career in 2007 and 2011. He's also the all-time leading passer in the history of the franchise. Played for 15 years there. And had some of the best quarterbacking seasons in this franchise history. For a franchise that doesn't really have a lot of blue chip quarterback talents, it kind of makes sense to have the guy who played there the longest and probably is the biggest franchise legend as a quarterback, the most recognized name as a player on this top 10 as Eli Manning is at number 8. At number 7, we're gonna go with Harry Carson. Harry Carson was a linebacker for the Giants in the 1980s. Perfect partner in crime for another player that is on this list. Carson was a 4-time second-team All-Pro selection, 9-time Pro Bowler. Extremely athletic, extremely instinctive, all over the field. Just ahead of his time, extremely smart player for Bill Belichick's defense. And number 6 is going to be Mel Hein. For those of you who saw Sam Huff, that was probably the first black and white image that I've posted in any video. That was just because I thought that was the best image to put out there. There were colored images. For Mel Hein, there's none whatsoever because he played in the 1930s. And as you can tell, this picture is really, really old. Mel Hein did play in the 1930s, and that was a time where the NFL was, so to say, in its plumber's era, quote unquote, or the time where really the sport was still developing. But Mel Hein was so far ahead of the game. Without him, centers would not play as well as they do today. Talk about a guy who was really a second quarterback for the Giants. Played both sides of the ball, but you're talking about the leader of that Giants offense as far as how he set up formations and whatnot. Dominant player in his time, and I have no doubt he would have been as good with better coaching in newer eras. Mel Hein was just, dominant for his time, way ahead of his time, and he deserves a place on this list. At number 5, we're going to go with a few Giants legends from the 1950s, starting off with Elmer Tunnell. Safety for the Giants, if I'm not mistaken, 5-time first-team All-Pro selection. Just an absolute ball hawk. Could read the field and read the quarterback's eyes unlike anybody else. At number 4, we're going to go with Frank Gifford, the other major linebacker on that 1956 defense. Played majority of his career with the Giants.